Welcome one and all to Button Smash! Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the only video game podcast that tells you what's really good in the video game industry. Batman! Interesting industry, Batman. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. We're going to be talking about the latest news that's been happening throughout the week and in current gaming culture and more. I am your host, Bad Cody Funky Sergio. Joining us today on the cast, you know him, you love him, the current meta, Jay's Mac.
Oh, God.
We got Doc Chris.
I am impervious. I survived the 90s.
True. Speaking of surviving, we got TV's Casey.
It's me.
There's a game out there that's been getting the absolute coolest stuff in it, and none of us really play it. I used to play it for some time. I think Jay's Mac played it a little bit, but they've been getting stuff upon stuff upon stuff upon stuff. But before we get into that game, there was some breaking news. Our very own Booster Greg let us aware that there was a tweet from Jeff Keighley, and what he had to say was, Tom Holland's Uncharted movie has been delayed until next year, Batman.
Womp, womp,
yeah, they're waiting for him to grow up.
Yeah,
you heard it.
5 o'clock shadow hasn't come in yet.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Tom, don't come back until you have stubble.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It was supposed to come out. It's been pushed back from this July to February 11th, 2022.
Man, it's not the only thing that's gotten pushed back. Like, not game adjacent, but Black Widow is getting pushed back again.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's everything. You know, we live in pandemic world, so this is.
I was gonna say, do you think it's the pandemic that pushed back the Uncharted movie?
No, I don't think
No.
so. I think it's BS if they use that as an excuse at this point, because
Damn.
things are kind of, we've kind of figured out how to like get through, production, stuff like that, like TV's coming back, like, things are like, we've adapted pretty well, but I mean, 400,000, gone, that's terrible. So maybe we haven't, adapted all that well, but I don't know. Like, I feel like they're figuring it out. They're getting people in studios. They're getting people to in writing rooms and stuff like that. So it might just be an excuse if they use it.
I mean, it's already had kind of a troubled. I mean, maybe not troubled, but it's. Yeah, no, trouble. Let's go.
No,
Go with
it's
trouble.
been
Yeah,
10
go
years in
Trouble.
development
Yeah.
hell.
I'm committing with trouble. It's not been great. It's been a whole mess, that movie. As you might expect with a lot of video game movies, you set the bar low so people can just step over it. I mean, come on. How many? We talked about this before. There's maybe 1-2 good video game movies out there, and when we say good, we mean basically passable.
And that's Mortal Kombat and Mario twins.
Yeah. Not Detective Pikachu, if you ask Sergio over here.
Definitely have to play Detective Pikachu.
I like that movie. I really enjoyed that movie.
With that
That's such a
whiny
good
guy who's
movie.
like whining all the time in every
Yeah,
movie he's in.
No,
Dude, like he's in Jurassic Park and he's whining. There's dinosaurs. How are you complaining?
have a good time, jerk.
Yeah,
Is
I'm
he
just like
Jurassic
every
Park?
movie he's in, he's like, all right, we
Isn't
need
it Justice Smith?
Yeah, Justice Smith. Yeah, it's like, okay, we need a guy who like he's kind of nerdy. He fits a certain build, and he just doesn't like anything. All right, go. He's like, oh, is that a T-Rex? There's literally a part where he says T-Rex like 20 times in a row because he's like complaining it's about to eat. It was. I was like, what movie is this? Who wrote this?
That's kind of.
Someone in the script was like
replacing...
T-Rex, copy, paste, and then that's the lines that came out in that movie. And then Detective Pikachu, he just complained about not liking Pokemon in a movie that is all about Pokemon. And I'm like, stop.
Yep.
This is ruining the movie. You're
It's like
ruining
saying
Hamlet.
You don't like cats. Like there's cats everywhere. You're like,
It's
I
kind
don't
of like
like
James
cats.
McAvoy's like first half, right? His first act, let's call it. Like, remember, like the first movie he stood out in was Wanted, and he was just screaming for like 40% of that movie, just yelling in like a whiny, scared voice. And I'm like, this is
Gotta
really
curve the bullet, Angelina.
weird. Yeah.
I don't actually know
And then he had
anything
those
about
moments again in other movies, and then I was like, really, dude? I was like, who's writing you into this corner? But he broke out of it, obviously, and he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
But also,
Wait, pause. I'm going to call out Booster Greg
Okay.
in chat because he's at home right now because different things. I don't know if he's put it out public. So he says, me having hot takes for the sake of having a hot take. Hey, Greg, how about if something's bad, it's just bad? How about that? How about if something sucks, it just sucks?
ooh,
There
It's
we go.
okay to dislike things.
Yeah.
it is okay. But Detective Pikachu was great.
But it wasn't
that being
bad.
said,
It was bad. That's your opinion.
No.
And my opinion is that it sucked.
And I like
It's not a hot
it.
take for the sake of being a hot take, bud.
Gotta do it. But so Uncharted pushed back. However, Black Widow was supposed to come out last March, and there really is no
May.
excuse for that to get pushed back at this point. Like that movie could have been made 3 times by now.
They want people to see it in theaters.
They do want
that's really what it is.
They're like, we can
100%.
make $1 billion off of this. Like, let's wait to put it out in theaters when the world is back to normal. And it's like, listen, buddy, people have wanted a Black Widow movie since like 2013, and you know the only good year that probably would have been to release. 2013.
Yeah.
You've missed your window. You killed the character off in Endgame. Nobody cares anymore.
Oh, dude, it's weird. It's weird, but there are people who care.
It's super low stakes.
It's
beyond. It's the lowest of stakes.
Yeah.
Like I've seen certain YouTubers, not going to call out any channels because they're wrong and they're trash. But no, I've watched YouTube videos where. Yeah, now I've watched YouTube videos where groups, either groups of panels or just individuals alone, have taken up the mantle to defend the movie because like they defend the argument that like, oh, there's no stakes, like nobody cares because she's already dead. And I've seen like whole essays people have written and made videos on YouTube about why it still matters and it's still going to be good. And I'm like, what? This is your cause? This is
yeah, this is the hill you want to die on? It's like those guys who dive in front of Elon Musk.
Oh, oof.
Like the world's richest man doesn't need you to take a bullet for him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he'll just go to space to avoid you. It's fine.
Yeah, seriously.
Like,
oh my gosh. But yeah, that was.
I'm the standest of stands for the MCU that you'll ever find, and even I can't bring myself to give a shit.
Yeah, like they should release it on Disney Plus. Like they're holding out for theaters. It's like, dog.
Yeah.
I know you guys have spent a lot of money on that, putting that movie together, but whose fault is that?
But this is perfectly Disney of them. Let's face it. Like this is them wanting to just capitalize on heads in theaters. Like they don't want people to watch it for $15 or whatever it is with an entire family. You know what I mean? Like 8 people can gather. And watch it in one shot, and they don't want that. They want $12.50 per person to go see it. So it's totally Disney. On the other hand, Warner Brothers and like HBO Max are like, yeah, like whatever movie we come out with, like soon, just it's
you want
in your
Godzilla
subscription
versus Kong? You got it, buddy.
Yeah,
like you guys got it, no worries. And I'm like, this is super cool. I wish your movies were a little bit better.
Yep.
But
yeah, I know, right? They're like, all of our movies being released in theaters are going to be released on the live streaming platform, HBO Max. Great. And it's just like, all right, what do you got? Well, we got Wonder Woman. Okay, what else you got? We got the Zack Snyder stuff. What else you got? Godzilla vs. King Kong. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
They keep coming. The hits keep coming.
Do you guys
I like where their head's at though.
Do you guys know anybody who's like actually super enthused about the Uncharted movie?
No.
But we
It's
also
just you
haven't
guys.
seen anything from it, so I don't know what to be enthused about.
We've
yet.
got production stills.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
my
give me.
gosh.
That's fine. And I love you guys know me. I love PlayStation. I love Naughty Dog. I love Uncharted. But like, I don't know. Like, I will go see this movie 100%. But they haven't shown me anything shiny that I can get distracted by yet.
Yeah,
Same.
it's just a Tomb Raider movie again. That's
That too.
But there is something that is showing us a lot of shiny stuff lately. A lot of shiny
Always.
stuff, and that's Fortnite. It's insane how they get so many cool things, and they added Predator to the game. The Predator.
They're like
in Fortnite.
They're like the Funko Pop of video games.
Seriously,
For real.
I mean,
Anything that can be put in will be.
seriously, it's insane that they've got Marvel, they got Star Wars, and now they got Predator, which I think is pretty bad. I love the Predator movies, and all the character models look cool, but it's in Fortnite. Can we get another game? Can someone make a game out there that can have all these cool properties that we can all play? Because like Fortnite has a crazy like skill gap with like building and shooting, right? Because it's not just a shooter; it's mainly a builder. But you have so many cool characters, and the Predator does look really cool. On top of him looking really cool, you have all these different cosmetics you can unlock from him. Like also in Fortnite, you have a backpack, you have a pickaxe, and all those like are branded like for whatever character. So if it's Marvel, you have like Tony Stark's backpack. On Iron Man, it looks like a thing. Yeah, the Mandalorian. You have the jetpack, and in here you have like his you have like a gigantic skull as if he's hunting. And there's all like different variations of
You
them.
can actually collect the skulls of other players.
Yeah, no, seriously, yeah. They should have that too, where you have it like a buff or something like that. But yeah, and like all the sounds are there, like the look is there, and all go to the chopper. That'd be awesome if that's like an achievement. But yeah, it's so crazy how Fortnite just has all this stuff.
Isn't he also in Mortal Kombat X as well?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
As well as the Terminator and
Rambo is in
Ash.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat gets some crazy stuff too, but Fortnite, it's nuts.
The Ninja Turtles, Hellboy.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat's off the chain with their crossover.
It's nuts. Moving on from Fortnite. Enough of Fortnite. Predator.
We're done.
We're
done for the month.
Make a game. We can have all this cool stuff in it. Casey, Resident Evil just dropped some stuff today.
They did a 40-minute long showcase presentation, which is great because we're living in a world without, Nintendo Directs and E3s and what have you.
Wait, without Nintendo Directs? Dude, we've had like 12 of them.
This year? I want you to really
2021, it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
I think the last
Yeah.
one we really saw was maybe in 2019. They stopped doing them. They started doing like little individual game vignettes.
Yeah.
But
All right,
not
Resident Evil.
Anyway, Resident Evil.
Resident Evil Village, and they do the little thing with the letters where it fades out to 8 because it's the 8th one in the franchise, as you well know. But let's really talk about the 8-foot-tall vampire mommy in the room, because that's what the internet is going ablaze about.
It's creepy as F.
I mean, yeah. So you've got Ethan, who's back from the last game, who apparently didn't suffer enough. This poor bastard. But now he's in a whole new mansion, a whole new environment, creepy basements, you name it, and maybe kind of sort of being hunted by a family of lady vampires who are related to the family from the last game.
This is like somebody's fantasy just coming to life right now.
Yeah, just listen, when they designed that character, they knew what they were doing.
Oh, 100%.
You don't put that much in those places. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they made this character model. Okay, we have to make her look creepy and also attractive at the same time, and also 10
huge.
feet tall. Yeah, we need to get the giant.
I've seen those videos.
Yeah, is the developer or one of the creators has like a giantess fetish or something like that? He's like, all right, I want this in the game. It needs to be put it in there, and they're like, okay, man, what? All right.
It's like no, bigger. It's like,
taller.
We can't make it any bigger. It's like, listen, I want you to do this like they did Lara Croft. Add an extra 0 at the end of that.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, fix it, make it work.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interview that comes up with like, he just kept asking us for it. We just like sweatily. He just showed up to our desk. We're just like, okay, sure, whatever you want.
Listen, the internet always goes wild with the memes and the fan art and whatnot, but they are going absolutely nuts over Vampire Mommy over here. And it is deeply uncomfortable at times. But this game looks, I mean, when we talked about like our best games of, the year, the decade, all time, what have you, we brought up Resident Evil 7 a fair amount. I know I had it in my list, at least. It is a quality game, a solid rebirth of a franchise that is normally just like an over-the-shoulder third-person shooter, which is scary, but it became way too action-oriented. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard brought it back to its roots of, like, literal pants-shitting terror. And I fully expect that from this game. But they also added a bunch of other Resident Evil adjacent stuff, other than the little teaser and some short gameplay footage we got of 8. And they put out the demo, Resident Evil Maiden. So you can actually play that and get that going, which is a nice surprise, to be sure. I was actually super jazzed about the multiplayer instance called Resident Evil Verse, because everything is really smooth and cel-shaded, and I'm not a competitive games guy at all, but I can definitely appreciate it for its aesthetics alone. I don't know. What did you guys think?
I'm on the way.
Wow,
yeah,
lukewarm response.
I'm bristling with enthusiasm, and you give me an eh?
Dude, I was just like, oh, are they trying to just make the game 13 again? But
yes!
just with I don't know. So like watching the footage from this game from Resident Evil Village, it looks like so gorgeous, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I knew that there was going to be the multiplayer, the reverse aspect of it, and so I was waiting for that to pop up in the stream, and I watched it, and I was like, I'm playing a comic book. And you have these crazy graphics that look like I can reach into the TV and like grab a candle off the wall, but then you give me the multiplayer, which comes free with this. I assume the reason that it came free with the game was because they were using the same assets, and I was wrong. So, I'm on it.
We're on it.
I'm for it if it's multiplayer, because this is the only way you guys are going to get me to play this game. Otherwise,
Going
I'm
back in your rust hole.
Yeah, for real. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Have
And
you
that
ever
demo.
played the Resident Evil games, Jay?
Yeah, I have. I mentioned during the I think it was the Halloween or like the greatest scary game of all time. I played the first one, and I did not jump when the dogs broke through the glass because my best friend was there with me, and he's like, "Hey, dogs are gonna jump through this," and I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
I also
spoiler?
played Nemesis, which to me was just like, yeah, like that wasn't bad, but a lot of the games, like I don't know, man, like I can't hang with the scary games.
I'm actually excited to play Resident Evil 7 because so with PlayStation 5 they have, if you have PlayStation Plus, you have access to the PlayStation Plus collection, which is a bunch of just some of the most popular PS4 games that have come out over the last few years, and Resident Evil 7 is actually on there, and I haven't played it yet, and I've been planning on it.
Ooh.
So I actually did download that with the intent to play it. So I'm actually very interested to play that and seeing what they are doing with Resident Evil Village in this. Makes me even more excited to play it. And that demo got released today. It's called Maiden, and it's PS5 only. So if you have PS5, you can download it. I think it's like 4 gigs, something like that, as you play as a character named Maiden, trying to escape some sort of basement dungeon. I will probably be checking that out, hopefully before our podcast next week.
Yeah, because he
For
has a
all of our viewers
PS5.
and some of the people on here who don't have a PS5 and are very desperate, tried again today, couldn't get it. Best Buy, GameStop, Amazon. I blew all of them, man. I can't do it anymore. I'm ready.
Yeah,
to give up.
a bunch of those locations went live today.
Yeah.
Anyways, they also in the stream talked about a Division 2 crossover event, which will be happening next month, where you're going to be getting like different skins and outfits that are in the Resident Evil that are from the Resident Evil games. So that's cool. Kind of forgot again the Division 2. I kind of forget that that's a game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure, is a
interesting.
thing that exists.
It definitely is a thing, but I feel like if you're gonna, I feel like that kind of fits the aesthetic. So awesome.
Yeah.
Into that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think we mentioned it, but this game is releasing on May 7th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This year, right? This year or next year?
This year.
This year.
This year.
May
This
7th,
year.
PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and on PC via Steam.
It's going to be May.
It's gonna be
It's
May.
gonna be May.
I love how they were like, oh, if you have a PS5, you get to play the demo. Everything else, we're waiting on it.
12 people get to play this demo.
Yeah, a few people.
And I'm one of them.
Yeah, right. Like one of the scalpers who just has him sit in his garage, who's about to get divorced because he's gonna go to hell. It's just like, hey, why don't I just pop one of these open and play this thing? I kind of like Resident Evil. Oh man,
I love it so much. I'm gonna play it 12 times on 12 sequential consoles.
I
Oh
also
my
am
gosh.
like I'm actually really excited to see like the layout of the mansion, because I think of like the mansion from Resident Evil 1 was very like over the top, larger than life, like big. This one, like that staircase that they have you walk up is like, it looks like an actual like American like mansion. Like it's not that like, it's ornate, but it really can't be that big because there just isn't that big like wide open space. But I don't know. I just think that the layout of like and the proportions of the mansion look like interesting and more realistic than other like mansions that we see in other games.
They're probably
Yeah.
just gonna have to step it up for Resident Evil 9 and just
definitely-
have it take place in an
Yeah.
MC Escher mansion.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Crystal,
that
I
actually-
agree.
That actually
it
would be pretty
definitely
badass.
It definitely looks more realistic than Luigi's Mansion. I agree.
Yeah.
No, that's what he did. But yeah, I do like how they're keeping with the haunted house aspect and keeping it like survival horror because, like Casey said, like people had problems with the past ones being more action gamey. And like I thought so too. Like I remember playing one of them where you're just rocking around with a rocket launcher in like an African village, and like they're just all coming at you. And I'm like,
that's 6. It's not even scary. It's just like, oh, we're fighting zombies in Africa.
It's an action game.
Yeah.
It's like 20 days later where I'm just like, okay, so I got a rocket launcher, got all these zombies. I have no fear whatsoever. I've also got an automatic gun and a shotgun. This isn't a survival game anymore. This is an action game. Someone's just like, hey, you know, it'd be cool if you made it more action. What do you think, Bob? Yeah, more action. Let's do it.
Let's add more guns, less health, and let's throw in that Wesker guy. We haven't used him in a while. Let's finish up his story.
Oh man, those people just didn't get it. Speaking of people who just didn't get it, CD Projekt Red. Oh man, so CD Projekt Red, for those who don't know, the creators of CyberPunk 2077. And
the most divisive game of the year.
The most divisive game of the year. They're all fans of The Last Jedi. So CD Projekt Red, one of the co-founders, issued an apology to all the fans and all the gamers, talking about how, you know, this is not what we expected to happen. This where we are now is not where we want to be. And everybody being mad at us is something we didn't see coming. Basically, long story short, they released the co-founder of CD Projekt Red released a video because Cyberpunk 2077 has been in development hell for a while. They basically released a game that wasn't done. The game wasn't done. They asked for pre-orders. They were trying to work on the next-gen consoles, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 current gens on PC, and stuff just wasn't working. And then they released the game, and a lot of people have problems. And it's crazy how a game comes out from a company. CD Projekt Red is known in the gaming industry for being like the homies, right? For being the people who put out good games and quality stuff, like The Witcher. The Witcher is critically acclaimed across all of gaming. The company itself has good rapport with every single person who plays the game because they just get it. They deliver good stories, great characters, great game mechanics, and they're just like a treat to play.
They set the bar.
The trick is they haven't been tempted by American capitalism over in Poland.
There's that. And then here comes Cyberpunk 2077. It was uncooked, and in this apology video, the co-founder, as my Dolce from Rory podcast points out, this guy looks sad. He is sad because he's like, I want to issue an apology.
He looks like a tired Haley Joel Osment. You know what I mean? Like,
he does. He's like, guys, I see dead people, and I'm sorry, I see dead people.
Yeah.
And, listen, I didn't want to see dead people, but I'm seeing dead people.
He's like, he made it a point to say, leave, you know, all the development team alone. Like, it's the higher ups in managerial positions who. It was our call to let the game out. It was our call to let the game out. You know, we went through certain things, and it was our call, and we shouldn't have released it when we did. And it was even worse because they delayed the game time and time again. And then they would say stuff like, we're going to release it when it was ready. And it was never ready. So they released this 5-minute long apology video. And in the video, it kind of seems like he throws some shade at the QA testers, right? So in gaming companies, you have people who test the game. They got to report on the bugs, this and that. They help make the game better and help smooth things out. And in part of the video, he was just like, you know, there's some things we just didn't catch in the testing. And I'm like, whoa. You go from saying, okay, blame us and managerial staff to, hey, by the way, the guys in QA, quality and
here's the list of all their addresses and their emails and their personal phone numbers. Go at it.
We just kind of, that part we kind of just didn't catch. It's like, what?
Yeah. And they talked about, he talked about how, you know, with COVID, then everyone was working from home, which is good that they allowed that to happen. But he was saying that as far as like the demo machines they had to test on it, it sounded like they didn't really have enough to go around. And so that it was either like their own high-end computers or some people had access to the PS5 dev kit as well, but not like lower end graphics cards and computers and previous generation consoles. So
didn't they like completely double their staff for this? Like in anticipation of the work.
Yeah, they hired more people.
They had a team of by 500. In fact, there is an article written by Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg about he gets the inside scoop on like so many like backstories of games, and he was able to talk to about 25 people that either currently or previously worked on the project, and he was talking about that like the development of actually getting into this cycle didn't actually really start until 2016, which means that by the time we saw that E3 demo, the big, like the 40-minute long one, they spent probably like more time working on that demo than they did on the actual game. So like they didn't know what they had yet, and like that's a normal thing in with E3 demos, that they have to make sure that this little slice of the game works for this. But at the time, it's the same thing with Anthem. Like they had a demo, but they didn't even know what the game was yet. They just like, cool, let's make this thing look cool and reverse engineer the rest of it.
It's a proof of concept, but we'll make it a thing.
So whose fault do you think that is? And by the way, I'm doing the same thing that CD Projekt Red is doing. I'm not finishing this game. I'm delaying it until like 2025. I've actually written CD Projekt Red a couple of letters telling them that I'm just not ready. It's not time for me to finish playing the game. And so I'll beat it in time, but it'll be half-assed.
Did you do it on yellow stationery?
Yes. But like all right, so we get it, like the higher ups and stuff like that. He points the blame at themselves, but is this a problem with the culture of video games now, right? Is this an issue with the way that people are like dying for video games to come out? If we talk about something and it looks kind of good, like, do you think that they fell under pressure, or do you think that they were just like, yo, well, listen, we've been working on this for too long. It's going to get too expensive. We got to push it out. What do you guys think? Like, is this, the hype's fault, or is this really just theirs, like isolated?
I think what happened was they didn't know what they had. And then when the hype train got rolling, they're like, well, shit. and it kind of spiraled out of control from there. I mean, if you look back, it's like they spent how much time developing what is more or less a glorified like cutscene. No, not even. Not even speaking of the whole game. I just mean like it's like a glorified cutscene. You know, you put all that work and effort into an early demo or just a trailer that people have been hanging on to for so long, and it's like, well, this is where we've set the bar. We have no plans on how to like possibly deliver it. I think the last time we talked about this, I compared it to like Duke Nukem Forever and Daikatana, where they have a lot of great ideas and a lot of great people working on it, but they're fundamentally missing like the drive. It's the same sort of argument that you get when game developers are like, oh, writing is just a little extra polish on, to make a game look good. And it's like, no, there's a lot of integral parts that need to go together. You can't just come up with a cool idea and shape everything around it after the fact.
And
but they're also probably writing pretty high from The Witcher 3, though.
Yeah.
Like,
that what you said was actually in the Inside Cyberpunk's article on Business Insider, the Jason Schreier article that Doc Chris was talking about, where he interviewed like current devs and past devs, and there was a dev who said how when they were trying to hash out the details, right? Like one of the higher ups was just like, oh, we'll kind of figure it out as we go along, which is kind of a big yikes.
Yep.
I mean, when you're looking at leadership within the company and you're asking for specifics and you're like, that'll come later down the line. It's like, no, but I'm the person you hire to figure out the specifics. I'm the guy hammering that stuff out, and I'm the one actually, like doing this. And then, when management's just like being trash, it's like, yo, all right, we'll just figure that out as we go along. That's a big red flag there, boy. It's a big red flag. I mean, it's so insane how you have developers who were down for making this game, and there were so many like things that misled them along the way, and you have like management just like, it's our fault, blame us, but at the same time, we're gonna throw some people under the bus here, and it's just it's so crap that they did that, And there's another thing they pointed out too is they have a roadmap for where they're gonna go here. So they have the release that came out. They have hot fixes, and now we're in the year 2021. You have 2 patches, patch 1.1, patch 1.2. And here's something that is weird to me, right? Free next-gen console update, that's PlayStation 5 and the current Xbox. I forget the name. Xbox is trash at me. And that's one of the last things towards the tail end of 2021. So towards the tail end of this year, they're going to work on the updates for the current consoles, which is insane. Why don't you move that up? So before that, they have free DLCs. So you're going to release patches, free DLCs, and work on your multiplayer and other updates that are not named yet, and then work on the game actually working on PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox? Are you out of your mind? Are you insane?
All of their
That's so crazy.
All of their priorities are completely skewed. If you want to go to the root of the problem, it's because they developed it for too many systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This game
Yep.
should never have been developed for current gen. Well, I guess
Now previous gen.
right.
Yeah, the
You know what I'm trying
PlayStation
to
4, Xbox. Yeah.
Which is really funny because I saw an ad on BestBuy.com that was like, "Oh, I thought the game was $25 off." And no, it's $25.
It's just $25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I laughed. I was like,
It went
"Oh,
on
that's
sale.
really funny." And then I was like, "Oh wait, no, it's 25 off." And I was like, "Oh wait, no, it's really actually just 25." I was like, "That's
Wait, Cyberpunk 2077 is $25 now?
Yeah, I think it's for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Yeah,
Damn.
it
But
went
it
on.
was
It did go on sale for that, and
That's
on
crazy.
top of that, there's actually reports of some folks that bought the Xbox One and or PS4, the
Copy.
Cyberpunk branded versions of those consoles that they were
Ooh.
actually issued refunds for them. However, some folks were actually able to even just keep the consoles.
That's
which is
funny.
kind of funny because they bought consoles that are branded for a game that isn't really going to run on there. But
Rip.
also, like think about also like what if you measure the success of the game, like people that have machines that can run it for the most part have enjoyed it. There's there are obviously there are bugs and there are more than usual, but it's as far as the folks that have been able to like really play it, they've enjoyed it. And on top of that, it was the by far the best selling game of last year. So like we're talking, it's obviously fun to talk about the crazy insane story about the development of this game, but in the end, this game actually is a success.
It's a success and a cautionary tale all at the same time.
At the same time,
Yeah.
which is weird, but they went gold before in pre-orders like at the beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
So they had to try and satiate all that money that they took for a game that they weren't sure it was going to be ready, and a lot of the developers said no, this is not ready. And then of course the board and the creative directors are like, no, we need to hit this. It's all crazy. But
crazy.
Maybe
the moral of the
they'll
story-
fix all the bugs when it comes out as like a PlayStation Greatest Hits or whatever they call it.
Oh, later down the line, yeah, it's all like
Later
platinum,
down the line.
PlayStation or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
But Chris, there's something else that's coming on the road here.
Yeah, something interesting. I don't know if how many people actually pay attention to Legos, but Lego a few years ago actually put something on their website called Lego Ideas, and it allows people to basically pitch to Lego, hey, we think this should be an official set. This is something that you should do. And in some cases, Lego has taken those and actually made them official sets. And one of the most current Lego Ideas pitches that is up on their site is Metroid, which actually looks really dope with Samus and her ship that's on there. So it'd be really cool to see that come out. The Mario Legos that we saw come out this past year, that was actually another one of these Lego Ideas sets that came that way. Same thing with the Friends set at Gunther's. It was the same. What, Gunther's? Was that the name of it? No, Central Perk. Gunther's the name of the person behind there. Anyway, let's go get my sitcoms right. But it would be really cool if we just like those Mario sets, we can get a Metroid set. Why not?
So we're going to take a short break here, but coming up in the next hour, we're going to talk about some more topics. Stay tuned after the break.
Hi, this is Michael Dolce, host of the Rogue Wave podcast. If you like comics, movies, TV, pop culture, and want inside access to the creators behind it, then you've come to the right place. Join us every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, streaming live on facebook.com/RogueWavePodcast and twitch.tv/RogueWavePodcast. New episodes available on all major podcasting apps immediately following the live stream. Rogue Wave Podcast, the frequency for all things pop culture and the disruptors behind it.
And welcome back to Button Smash. Thank you to everyone who's been listening on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and everywhere you can listen to a podcast. Been watching our VODs on youtube.com/Rogue Matter. Been tuning into all the good stuff and things there. Heading over to roguematter.com, checking out all the other Rogue creators as well. We love seeing you guys live here in the chat. on twitch.tv/weareroguematter every Thursday nights at 9, and sticking tuned for the pop-up streams that happened here as well. And going over to Jay's Mac channel at twitch.tv/Jay'sMac as he streams a new Matter Rust. That's right, Rust. It's popular. It's still good on Twitch. People are still into it, still going through it.
It's hip. It's how. It's wow. And how.
And there's 70% less chair.
Yeah, less chair. Sir, if you're getting into Rust, want to know more about Rust, Jay's Mac is your streamer. He's your guy. So head on over to twitch.tv/Jay's Mac. Everyone who's watching, make sure to follow his channel as well. Jay, drop your channel link in the description there. All right.
Cool, thanks, bud.
So, speaking of Jay and Rust, I believe, Jay, there's some good old Rust stuff that's going on. Some nice little Rust content. What's happening?
Some hot
There
goss.
was some hot content. You know, as we talked about briefly, Rust got a huge surge in viewership and stuff like that from the OTV servers, right? A lot of streamers had the opportunity to play on offline TV. Which is a server that it's not open to the public. It's private, so they're not going to get stream sniped. They're going to have like their own little community going on. I'm pretty sure they paid a bunch of people to join in with this, or they had some sort of wild partnership. I mean, Rust went from having like maybe 5,000 viewers on Twitch, on any given night, to like almost 2 million.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was really cool to see. I was really excited, but I knew kind of in the back of my head that there was going to be some sort of
the bubble
controversy.
burst.
Yeah. And so what happened was, and it's not necessarily a Rust that's the issue. That happened to just be the platform of, angry streamers versus, cheeky YouTubers kind of, getting into a little bit of a feud. It's kind of all blown over or boiled over, whatever you want to call it at this point. But what had happened was there's a YouTuber named Sir Winter. Makes really good Rust content. He has really good stories. He's a bit of a farmer in the game. He's not always like the PvP Chad, if you would. He was going through and playing on the PvP version of the OTV server. So OTV split their servers up into two different ones. One was a role-playing or an RP server. The other one was PvP. The PvP server had a designated zone where you can't fight anybody. It was called a safe zone, which is what it's called in Rust, where if you PvP, like, you get shot down by like the NPCs and stuff like that.
Can confirm.
Chris has experienced that very quickly on in the game when he was playing with me. But what had happened was anything north of like the northern hemisphere of the map was a PvP zone. Sir Winter, being somebody who's played for about like 5,000 to 6,000 hours in the game, was running around, and he was enjoying his time playing the game, as they called it, metagaming, which is you play the game how it's like constantly being played. A lot of the YouTubers that have had their first experience with Rust on the OTV server were just kind of slowly figuring the game out, but because they were really good at first person shooters and stuff like that, they kind of got a good hang of it. So they were staying on the PvP server because they were, just causing havoc and stuff. But Sir Winter kind of outsmarted this one particular streamer named Trainwreck. Trainwreck is a larger streamer.
Not hard to do to outsmart Train.
Good. I'm glad.
Got him.
So he saw him running down the road, right? And he saw him farming up. And what had happened was, Trainwreck didn't see Sir Winter, so Sir Winter like doubled back and was like hiding in a bush, which is what you do. You camp in a bush for a little bit, and then you jump out and you shoot somebody down. And he got the jump on him, and Trainwreck immediately was like, "Come on, bitch, pick me up, res me," like being like, you can pick up people, when you knock them down if you don't kill them off right away. And Sir Winter's like a really nice guy, and I'm definitely in his corner, even though like he could have picked him up, but Trainwreck was all sorts of salty and sorts of angry because of this. And what he did was he basically started just complaining to the creator of the server and being like, Sir Winter, or Sir Wanker as he's calling him because he's Australian, was getting all angry, and he's like, this is ridiculous. You're a pro Rust player, which doesn't really exist at all, by the way. There's no like Rust.
You're a pro
competitions.
esports Rust player. How dare you?
Yeah. Like he goes off the rails about this, and he's all angry. But I'm like, dude, first of all, like, if you look at Sir Winter's VODs and stuff like that, like, you were in the PvP zone, like, you were probably going to shoot him, which you've done to other people.
Oh yeah, can you explain that real quick? Because I know
Yeah.
somewhat about this. Like there are zones where okay, so some of the Twitch streamers who are not used to Rust are not used to like PvP, player versus player action, right? Where people can just shoot each other and kill each other. And there are zones where you're free. There's going to be no conflict, right? So I heard there was some discrepancy being like, okay, well, I technically wasn't in that part. It was in there. Can you explain like the zones real quick?
Yeah, so like I said, anything over the northern hemisphere is basically like a PvP zone. They said anything near the military tunnels, which if you watch, on Twitch right now, you can see the military tunnels that Crizzle and I were playing through. So in that area was like a hot spot for PvP. So where he was actually like totally game to get, shot down at. And he just didn't take it well at all. If you were south of the border there, it was more role playing and more kind of like gearing up and farming, and it was more friendly down there. That's not where he was, and that's why Sir Winter thought it was okay.
You walked into the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah, basically.
What you doing over here, boy?
And so there was a bunch, Twitch has, Rust has like a global chat and stuff like that in game, and you can talk to either your team or you can talk to the entire server if you choose to turn it on. It's usually filled with racism and toxic words. So you're better off if you do buy the game, play it, turn that off. It'll just be better for you. It'll be a better experience. Don't worry. But there was just a ton of back and forth going on. And then, unfortunately, Sir Winter got the boot, because Trainwreck is a bigger streamer, I guess. And he's a more, well-known person. So they kind of sided on, with him over Sir Winter, who was actually doing the right thing.
I actually got to see the other side on Trainwreck has a podcast where it's one of the bigger, like, it's called Scuffed Podcast, where he has a bunch of like Twitch streamers on, right? So his side of the story was that there's a bunch of complaints about that guy. So he's claiming that it wasn't him being the bigger streamer on Twitch complaining about that guy that got him kicked, that got him out there. He was like, it was, I guess that was the final straw that broke the camel's back. So on Train's end, he's like, yo, that guy had a bunch of different like stuff against him and stuff like that. And I was just coming in, and people on the show were like, yeah, but like,
wait, hold on a second. Do you smell that? It smells like bitch.
Yeah, but no, there are people on his show that called him out. It's like, yeah, but you have an audience and you got a size, right? And if you flex that, like it's something's gonna happen. Like you can't not think something's gonna happen. So people were like calling him out. It's like,
exactly.
Yo, if you flex that, something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Of course, this guy's gonna see something like stricken against him because you're a bigger streamer. What are you talking about?
You come at the king, so you best not miss.
Yeah.
You also have XQC chiming in with that, saying like, "Oh, he should have never even been invited to this server." You know what I mean? And XQC, like, dude, what?
Wait.
You're
who is he saying should not have been invited?
Sir Winter.
Really?
Like, because he's like, who is he? We don't even know who he is. I'm
wow,
like, dude.
Who Omega Lol?
Like that's the attitude that they have, right? And that's what's unfortunate about this. And that's more, again, it has nothing to do with Rust. Rust was just the plate that this was all served on. And that's why I was psyched to see that this game got a ton of recognition. They're gonna have a console update and a console version of the game later on, which is gonna blow up even more. But I knew that some of this bullshit was going to come through, right? And that's the unfortunate part. But Sir Winter doesn't care about it anymore. He's like, whatever. He's like, I'm just going back to my own. Like, he owns a server that he just PvPs on anyway. In Trainwreck, they kind of buried the hatchet already. That's why I said it boiled over at a certain part. But it didn't come without Trainwreck saying like, oh, he met his wife in a Rust server. That's so weird. I'm like,
wow.
Like you also met your significant other in a game as well, so like chill.
Also, like Trainwreck can't be talking about what's weird because like on his like Trainwreck has one of the largest like platforms on Twitch and one of the largest podcasts on Twitch where they just talk about all these other subjects, and he wants to talk about weird. That guy will talk about male genitalia for like an hour. Like an hour. Yeah. And every one of his guests always brings it up. He's just like, we're back here again at this topic again, and he's just like, hey, it's just the way it is. And he wants to call this guy meeting his significant other in Rust weird. Come on, bro.
So you guys are not gonna like the new segment I was about to pitch.
It's called the male genitalia.
Top 10 dicks in gaming.
But yeah, man, it was just some crazy ass drama, and that wasn't the only thing. It was good to see the art, like the role players and stuff like that. Like you saw like Pokemon playing, you saw Jacksepticeye, you saw like You saw H. June team up with Shroud, which was really cool. Shroud being like the god of a PvP zone. And
Yo,
then
Shroud had like
being...
mercenaries and stuff, and you had people going out getting hitters. I was like, damn.
my favorite thing was Moon and starting this whole, like, there was all this like role playing stuff, but Moon was trying to sync up and play a bunch of music, and he called himself the DMCA Bandit, and he would just run around the other. So this game has instruments in it, and you can actually put in like MIDI like controllers and stuff, so you can actually play like a keyboard that'll actually play the guitar for you.
What?
That's awesome.
Yeah, Chris, I forgot to mention that to you. That's
Oh my god,
I forgot to mention it.
Are you kidding me?
Forgot to mention music stuff to the music guy.
Why are we not playing Rust right now?
Because we're gonna metagame.
Okay,
So that's the other thing too, is right. Like you get called out for being a metagamer. Like you're playing the game really well, you're playing it smart, and like you're like, oh, you're metagaming, that's cheating. You got to get banned. Like, dude, really? Like that's so
crazy.
That's so weak.
Yeah, sorry for using the dominant strategy.
That sounds like something that the XQC would play. Like if someone gets something over an XQC, oh, he's just dude, like he's just dude.
Yeah, and that's this thing. Like he was running around killing people left and right, and like
everyone was trying to be chill, and XQC was just like, and they're like, yo, can you chill? We're trying to have a good time here. And he's like, oh, this guy's complaining, dude. He's complaining. This guy. If you guys know XQC, he's one of the biggest like streamers on Twitch. He's got like minimum like 60,000 people watching him every day. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's
got kicked off of a professional Overwatch team for being too toxic.
Yep. He also got kicked out of like like tournaments for being for technically cheating and for being toxic, and he's really known for like raging out, and he is good at games. He's good at shooters, but he's known at like, it's like, how do you get mad at people for calling you out in Among Us, right? How are you the killer? Like, okay, how are you the killer in Among Us? You get found out you're the killer, and you complain that person got you. What?
Yeah,
they're literally just playing the game.
Literally
he's
just
a
playing
wild
the game.
Human being is what it is.
Literally just can't play the game and like telling that other person that they're not smart, but they're smart enough to get you, though, homie. Oh, get clapped up. Speaking of getting clapped up, I don't know how this movie's not being clapped up. So real quickly, Nicholas, if you guys haven't seen, Nicholas Cage is doing whatever types of movies. It's so weird. It's so
he's at a point in his career where he just does what he wants.
Yeah, because he
needs
offered
to,
like,
because he owns too many islands.
He does. Yeah,
he's broke.
He's been offered like bigger roles in movies, but he's just like, no, I'm just gonna take whatever I'm gonna. So if you guys are familiar with a game called
I am the ghostwriter, Jerry.
Good job, Case. That really added to the conversation. So if you guys are familiar with a game called Five Nights at Freddy's, it's about like, think about like a demonic Chuck E. Cheese where the robotics come to life and they want to put you inside of them. That's what the game is. So you're a security guard. You have to like watch them to make sure they don't move or whatever, or put them back. And it's like a horror game. It's very terrifying. When you think about these animatronics, they have all the gears and metalwork inside of them, and they want to be your suit. Right, so they try to shove you in there and you die. So Nicolas Cage is coming out with a movie called Willy's Wonderland, and it's Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, how is this? How is this being?
So that's scary. Like that game, that's a scary game, right? But what's even scarier is Nicolas Cage's painted on goatee that he has. That's such a like costume designers.
He's 20 years beyond like being able to create that hair color naturally.
Yeah. Horrible.
Yeah,
This ain't Face Off Nicolas Cage.
Great movie. When you guys saw the trailer, what did you think?
It's exactly what I want in a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, except it's not a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Right. However, I'm wondering if they wanted to make a Five Nights at Freddy's movie and then they got like denied.
I don't know why. Scott Cawthon has licensed out his stuff to like novels and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So I would be very surprised. I feel like when I first saw it, I'm like, somebody's getting fucking sued.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hardly like the first thing to do like evil animatronics, but it's definitely the most popular. I mean, there's 6 games, like a handful of books, and I'm pretty sure that's half the views on Game Theory's channel at this point. Yeah. It's pretty wild how this has taken off.
I mean, I'm just psyched that this game's coming out on the 12th. It's going to be a beautiful Valentine's Day movie to take your sweetie out to.
Oh, yeah, Valentine's Day. For real, though. Yeah, I love that they do like put out like horror movies for Valentine's Day. It's like, yeah, that's pretty dope. But it looks interesting. I can't wait when it comes on demand. Like I don't know where this is.
It's gonna be fun. Like
Yeah.
like do not kid yourself. This is not gonna be a good movie, but it's gonna be fun as hell.
Dude,
Yeah,
it
can't
looks
wait to watch it on FX.
Oh man. Speaking of things that we're watching, so we got WandaVision. So WandaVision dropped on Disney Plus. It's interesting. So WandaVision, for those who don't know, what are you living under a rock? So WandaVision is about Wanda and Vision, the heroes in the Marvel Universe. It's set in, what's weird? We thought we knew when it was set, but there's a recent interview done, I think that was like Variety or something like that, with Kevin Feige. And they were literally asking him when it takes place, and he played aloof. He didn't answer the question. I was like, wait,
Of course he did.
that's interesting. Why wouldn't you answer when it takes place? He's like, it takes place in the MCU's coming back. It's I was like, what? That's weird. Why would you not answer that question? Where WandaVision takes place?
It takes place after Endgame. It's like, cool. That's non-specific, I guess.
Yeah, like, but he didn't even say that. I was like, why didn't he say that? That's really weird. But anyway,
I was gonna say, because that's the mystery. Like isn't that the point of the show right now? Is that you're trying to figure out what the heck's going on, and if
Right.
it's like a mystery
is
box.
probably a big part about what's going on.
Yeah, I agree. I started watching this like 2 nights ago, and I was like, oh, this is funny. It's just gonna be like what is it, Bewitched or whatever.
Dick Van
I Love
Dyke.
Lucy.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh, this is really cool. And then I'm like, oh, like first of all, I was jazzed to see Deborah Jo Rupp in it, Kitty Foreman from that 70s
Oh,
show.
hell yeah.
Oh yeah,
She is not
Kitty.
aged
I was like,
at
yo,
all.
it's Kitty. I literally yelled, like, it's
And
Kitty
she
from that
was-
70s show.
Yeah, and she was also like exactly like Kitty. That
She has not
laugh. She's
aged a
just so-
day.
No, I
Yeah.
know, it's amazing. I just love her so much. Best character in the whole show.
And Emma Caulfield from Buffy the Vampire Slayer was in the
Yep.
second episode too.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I was excited to see this, and that dinner scene, if you guys haven't seen it already, is very weird. And I was
Deeply
like,
unsettling.
I was waiting for something like that to happen though, or waiting for like some sort of weird like transition or whatever. And I was like, at first I was like, oh, they're really sticking to this 60s sitcom thing.
They play it pretty straight for 2 episodes.
Yeah. And I was like, it was really good. I think the magic show thing too was awesome.
Oh, I thought
think
that was
so
great.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I
the
love
idea
that
of him
it said
eating
it
food.
said in that time of like you said like Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie and all those shows, and then
Yeah.
it's we're seeing it progress, right? Like there's 2 episodes that are out right now. Each episode comes out each Friday, so we got 2 right off the bat. I felt just like with Mandalorian, they're like, all right, we need to give you a taste of what's going on in the show, because the first episode is like 20-some minutes long, the second one's like 30 minutes plus. And they're like, all right, we got to whet your appetite. And oddly enough, reviewers and content creators and stuff like that got like 3 episodes.
Oh.
And apparently it's
What?
And they say the third
Yeah.
one is where it really picks up.
yeah, so
Which
the
will be
third episode is
tomorrow.
really
Cool.
kind of kicks off there. So that should be an interesting watch because that's coming up tomorrow on Friday. But so what do you guys think of the show so far? I think like my whole thing is that I just want to know where this thing is going, because I can't judge the show right now because it's so like we don't know what it is.
It's too abstract right now.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I talked to my mom a few days ago and she's like, hey, I watched WandaVision. And I was like, Mom, you have literally never seen any of the Marvel thing. And she didn't even know. She straight up didn't even know that it was like a part of the whole cinematic universe. But like we growing up, we used to watch a lot of the classic TV shows, so I was like,
Same.
of course you would be attracted to this.
Nick at Night.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm actually really pumped to see what she thinks of the show. Obviously, there's going to be some big reveal in the show, and I'm interested to see like what that's going to look like to someone who has absolutely no context of these characters. But she's still enjoying it. She knows. She's like, okay, it's something weird. It's can't be like old school television homage, but she knows that these are superheroes, and she just doesn't know like where they came from, but whatever. But I'm excited. I just was enjoying the fun of like the classic sitcom tropes more than like thinking, oh, this is where is the next big twist coming?
So
Right.
can I say what my theory is?
Go for it.
Can I
Yeah,
give
go for it. What's your
predictions?
theory?
Oh, please.
When she's blowing up his, the Mind Stone, I think that this is all taking place within like a fraction of a second, but it's just like it's like so much energy is being generated that this is like her kind of crazy ass dream, and Vision's still obviously like dying or dead in that instant.
Okay.
So I think it's happening during Infinity War. I don't think it's happening after Endgame.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
That could go with why Kevin Feige didn't say in the interview that it was after Endgame.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I would be surprised if that were the case. I think this is definitely a post Endgame thing. What I'm really hankering for is the inevitable reveal, and like we just talked about, like we just mentioned Buffy real quick, the episode where Buffy's mom has the stroke, and they have the whole episode where she's like alive, and then it
The
does
body.
the body, and then it does the smash cut to her on the couch.
Oh my god.
We're
Freaking
gonna have
devastating.
we're gonna have something like that, but with Vision's like faded out, black and white post Infinity War body. Like he's gonna be fine and cheery one moment, and then it's all gonna collide at once.
Yeah, I think this is going to end very sad. Like,
It's
this is
gonna
going to
be
be like a
messed up.
very,
For the children.
We don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
though,
For the
because
children.
there's, I mean, we already know that there's like reality bending stuff in this universe. And the one thing that is, I'm thinking it's not that is because of the idea that both episodes kind of faded out to a television, right? That someone's watching what's going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's a good theory. And again, what's a good thing right now at this point, we've only seen 2 episodes and we have no idea what is the bigger picture. So right now, all you got to do is take it at like you have to enjoy it at face value of cool,
which is great.
Yeah, which is again playing it straight is a great move.
Yeah, I'm just anxious just to get to where the heck we're going. You know what I mean? Because like again, like I can't judge the show because we're only 2 episodes in. You know, that's like judging a movie when you're only like when you just walked into the theater. But I'm just like get to it because I love the moments where things become real. Where it seems like to me where Wanda's constant like I believe this is like an illusion created by her. Right? All these are real people. And some of them are not real. Like mostly, I want to think that okay, these are real people trapped in her illusion. And when she breaks her concentration, things kind of go awry. Like when she's talking to the woman who's head of like the little council they have there, and she looks over the radio and someone's trying to talk to her and it says Wanda, and she's just like, and the illusion kind of breaks a little bit. And she's like, "Who are you? Where are you?" And Wanda's looking at her like,
on the radio.
"Ah." Yeah. It's almost like a Twilight Zone thing. It's just like, "Who are you?" And they start pointing at her and start like, you know, one of those things like, "Not one of us." And you're just like, "What's happening?" And then, like based on the body snatchers.
The bit in Inception where they realize you don't belong there.
Yeah. When they realize, you're
when
like
they all
something
just
else.
turn to you.
Yeah. So
It's so weird.
Yeah, I think that part's pretty cool. So I think when the illusion breaks, like all of her control, and the people are just like, wait, because there's a part in the trailer where like Rambo kind of gets that too, where she's just like, who are? And she's like, I don't know, and she's like fighting it. But I think in the end, I can't wait to. I get like who is talking to her through the radio, through the TV, because there are times where we hear someone's voice.
The person on the radio is Jimmy Woo, or Randall Park from the Ant-Man movies.
You think so?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I know he's in here.
I loved him.
I know he's in here, but in the trailer, you can see him in the trailer too. So this is not really a spoiler. I do know of a spoiler that was kind of like dropped by the trade magazines and stuff like Hollywood Reporter, Deadline. I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Cool.
But,
Don't you dare.
Yeah. But what do you guys think? What's up with the beekeeper? There's a beekeeper that comes out from the middle of the road.
Yeah.
You're just getting honey, man.
Just
Don't ask any questions.
It's the bee stone. He's bringing the bee stone in.
the bee stone.
The bee stone, dude. He's bringing the wicker stone.
So in Marvel Comics, AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, all their henchmen, they're like a science-based criminal organization. So everybody who's in it is a
Nerd.
they're all they're just huge nerds. That's it. And they dress like with these like yellow buckets on their head in a one-piece jumpsuit, and they look like beekeepers. And they always joke that like, oh no, the beekeepers are here. These huge nerds and they're bees.
The kind of reminds me of like the Venture Brothers, like the Monarch and his nerds. They're all just like bees.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so stupid. But
the logo is from another organization in the comics, Sword. Which
Sword,
is like
like when she looks at the helicopter fire truck, like that's in color.
It's like a space agency protectorate kind of deal, which is a little weird, but I don't know. Maybe they're just repurposing the group for something else. I don't know if they showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So
who do you think is watching her when everything zooms out towards the end of the episode and her show ends? There's someone sitting there with a command console, I think, for Sword. Who do you think sitting there?
It's the kid from Iron Man 3.
Damn it!
They gave him a job.
That's enough out of Jake for
man.
tonight. It's enough out of
Well, maybe it's oh my God, Nick Fury, because isn't he? Didn't they establish that he's like in space now?
It's a white hand though.
I was gonna say it's
Oh.
a white
Sorry.
woman's hands.
My
Yeah.
bad.
Pretty-
Sorry, it's sword led by that's newly been established by Nick Fury. This person is working for Nick Fury,
Right. Yeah.
who's a white person, not a black person.
Insane. It might be Maria Hill. I don't know.
Is she part
Yeah.
of Sword now? Since Shield is
I have no idea.
I mean, how do you solve a problem like Maria, right? She's going to figure it out.
Sound of Music reference. I love
You're
it.
welcome.
2021. Let's go.
You're welcome.
Oh
You
my
thought
god.
the 90s references were old? We're going way back.
Oh man. But yeah, guys, I can't wait for episode 3, which launches tomorrow. By the time you guys hear this, you would have already seen it because apparently, like Casey said, that's when all the content creators who did get a 3rd episode. It's already because I was listening to Kevin Smith show, and he's just like, "Hey, me and Mark Bernard and Gil, what the hell, man? Who do you have to blow?" Like, they
Well,
didn't
you
give
do
Kevin
it, when you
Smith
do a
3rd one.
podcast called Fat Man on Batman, you're obviously showing your DC bias.
Well, no, they
true.
don't. There's no Batman anymore. It's just called
No,
Fat Man Beyond.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, it was so funny. But yeah. All right, guys, that is all the time we have today for Button Smash. Thank you all for tuning in here live at twitch.tv/weareroguematter, listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere you listen to a podcast. Thank you guys for sticking around live here and everyone who is listening to us out there. We will see you guys later, or we will see you another time.
Thank you for playing Button